What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining the Tully broadcast. So today, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the daily news, sort of, as far as what Giants is happening. So now, little interesting news that happened. I was actually pretty interested to see this move, but we made a pretty decent move as signing a guard at Zach Fulton. Now, he seems to be like an average kind of guard. I think his PFF rating was like 60 or something like that, 68. So nothing too crazy, nothing too high, nothing too low, nothing insane. But the big thing that I think he does bring is veteran leadership and a player, at the very least, who can either A, be a backup player that can put in time and be a good, nice backup and be a veteran leader, or also he could possibly even start and make a pretty decent role on contribution on this team, on this offensive line. I'm not greatly impressed with it. I don't really care that much about it. I just like the move in general. I think we do need to have a veteran leader on our offensive line as well. That can be with Nate Solder, so Nate Solder's not the only one, and need to put a little age on that offensive line. We are a little afraid of, how young and how inexperienced our offensive line is. That's our only honestly, with this whole team that we got going on, with all the weapons that we have, my biggest fear is our offensive line. It really is. That's my biggest fear at the end of the day. I think everything else is... Sorry, excuse me. Wow. I think everything else is really good. I'm just a little nervous about that offensive line. I'm a little worried. I'm interested to see what we do. Now, by no means do I think this does not mean we're going to draft a guard in this year's draft, because I definitely think we will draft a guard, and I definitely think we need to draft a guard. But it definitely maybe opens us up into not wanting to draft an offensive lineman with our first pick. And now going into what I think we will do with our first pick, or what I'm at least hoping we're going to do with our first pick, was the news that came out today that there were only 2 head coaches at this camp today for the Penn State Pro Day. There's only 2. There was Micah Parsons, there was Joe Judge and Mike Tomlin. They were the only 2 head coaches, and now clearly these 2 guys are interested in someone. And you know who that someone probably is. It's probably going to be Micah Parsons. This guy's a top 5 talent in me. Supposedly he has off-the-field issues, and there's some kind of weird thing going on with hazing. I don't know much about it. I don't really want to say much about it. But this guy's a stud. I'm telling you. This guy is an absolute stud. I think he's a top 5 player in this draft. I'm really, really, really interested in seeing how he performs. He had an amazing pro day as far as putting up crazy numbers. I think he ran a 4.39 or something like that at his 40. It was something ridiculous. He is a legit player, and clearly Joe Judge is interested in him, or else he wouldn't have drove all the way out to Penn State. Now, some people are saying, and I think it's fair to say this, and I've been saying it too, that they're concerned whether or not they're going to draft him, and Dave Gettleman's going to draft him because he had the mess up with DeAndre Baker. DeAndre Baker we traded up for in the 2019 draft. With the 31st pick, we took him. Definitely he was a really good player coming out of college and stuff like that. Great player, just had some off-the-field issues. Nothing too serious as to what he did. I mean, what he did was he supposedly was involved in the armed robbery. He didn't get convicted, so, it got brushed under the, it got put away. But we released him, when the whole thing went down. Now, my thing is that I'm afraid that Dave Gettleman's not going to want... And there was some off-the-field issues with DeAndre Baker that people were like, I don't know if you should do that. He's had some issues. But the issues were, he was sleeping in class or something. He was, sleeping in the the cornerback meetings and stuff like that. So that was the only problem with him. But I'm worried that I don't think Dave Gettleman will want to do another guy who has off-the-field issues. Because let's say some off chance that Micah Parsons doesn't pan out. All the Dave Gettleman guys are going to be like, oh my God, how could you pick this guy that has his problems? Dave Gettleman can't figure out who can, problems, this, and that. So that's my only thing. I feel like we wouldn't go after him. Again, I really do want to go after him. He's a great, great player, and a player that I think we really need in our defense, because he can play both pass rusher and a linebacker, and a stud linebacker too. So I'm really interested to see if we do pick him up, and I really do hope we do. Because, again, he is a great, great stud linebacker. But, yeah, clearly Joe Judge is interested. And I think the reason why Joe Judge went there was I think he wanted to see this kid in person, He wants to see this kid in person and, all right, let's see how I think he is as a person. My other thing, too, is as far as people saying that, you can't pick him because, he got problems with, his temper or this and that. I only have a problem with this because... Even if all this is true, right? Even if all the accusations of him being a little crazy and hazing and stuff like that is true, this is not my own take, but I have heard this take from someone. I don't know the source. I forget the name, but I believe that you got to think of it like this. he is in a locker room that's clearly got problems. The Penn State locker room culture over there has not been good, and it's not a great locker room. If you insert him into a locker room like we have right now, all the crap that he did, that's not flying. That's not flying on that team. I could tell you that for a fact. You know, if he does something like Leonard Williams, be like, dude, what are you doing? Or Logan Ryan's be like, hey, bud, what are you doing, bud? You know what I mean? Jabril Peppers. That's not flying. These are like alpha dogs. You're not messing around with these guys. There's a lot of alphas on our team, and that's what Joe Judge brings to the table is he wants alphas, and you're not messing around. So I think, even if you have Saquon too, like you mess with Saquon and stuff like that, you do this and that, like, no, that doesn't work. It's not working on that team. It's not going to work at all. So I think that if he comes to our locker room, I don't think all of the problems that he had, I think they will go away immediately because of the locker room that we have. We have a great culture right now, a great winning culture. So I'm definitely interested to see what happens. Again, I am a huge fan of the kid, and I hope we do sign him, and that the problems don't really all the problems that he had off the field and stuff like that don't really come to play. But yeah, I mean, guys, we are in mock draft season. We're in draft season. We're coming up to it. We're almost a month away. The draft is April 29th, and I cannot wait. I really can't. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening, and you're going to definitely be seeing some videos about mocks and stuff like that, maybe bringing on some friends to do mock drafts or players analysis and stuff like that. I know I said I was going to do that a while ago, but this is kind of now when I want to do it. But yeah, I'm really excited for the future and what we're going to do with this team and who we're going to take as a Giant. So I can't wait, and thank you for listening, guys. Peace.